Children of the Most High, hear the call. A new thing has been released into the earth, pure, radiant, and untouched by corruption. Heaven has stirred, the veil has shifted, and what was once hidden has begun to shine openly. This new baby is not flesh and bone, but a divine assignment, a fresh revelation, a birth of purpose placed into your hands. But be careful, for every holy unveiling draws the attention of forces that wish to smother what God has just awakened. Stand alert. The moment of exposure is also the moment of conflict. This new gift, this seed of destiny, has been delivered to you with heavenly urgency. It is wrapped in glory, sealed with truth, and marked by the breath of the Eternal One. You are not being asked to wait, or question, or hesitate. You are being commanded, open it immediately, for within this gift is the answer to prayers you have cried in silence. Within it is the strength you thought you lost, the courage you feared had died, and the clarity the darkness tried to steal from you. This is not a burden. This is not a test. This is a divine reveal, and the heavens anticipate how you will respond. Be vigilant, for the enemy circles like a shadow around a flame, hoping to extinguish what God has ignited. But fear not. The light that surrounds you is greater than any darkness that rises against you. Lift your spirit. Strengthen your resolve. Guard what has been entrusted to you, for it is precious, powerful, and filled with purpose. This gift, this new baby, is your breakthrough in its earliest form, fragile only if you neglect it, unstoppable when you embrace it. Step forward boldly. Open what God has placed before you. Receive it with reverence, carry it with courage, and let no voice of doubt tear it from your grasp. For heaven stands with you, and the time is now. A divine assignment has been revealed. Handle it with vigilance. When something truly divine is placed into a person's life, it rarely arrives with trumpets or spectacle. It comes quietly, deliberately, and with purpose, like a whisper from eternity slipping into a moment of time. This assignment, this spiritual birth, does not ask for attention. It demands recognition. It carries the weight of heaven behind it. Even if at first glance it appears small, fragile, or ordinary, yet nothing from God is ever ordinary. Every divine release carries intention, structure, and destiny, woven into its very essence. And in this moment, what has been revealed to you is not a coincidence, not a dream, not a passing impression, but a clear signal that you are being entrusted with something precious, something that must be handled with vigilance. Vigilance is not fear, it is awareness sharpened by understanding. When heaven places an assignment into your hands, it comes with spiritual significance far beyond what your eyes can see. To be vigilant means you are awake, you are listening, you are attentive to the shifts around you. You sense when something is sacred, you discern the weight of what you carry. This new assignment is not meant to be tossed aside, forgotten, or treated casually. It is not a fleeting thought or a vague hope. It is a divine deposit, a purposeful revelation placed into your spirit, because you are the one appointed to steward it. This is not given to the careless. It is not entrusted to those who wander blindly. It is granted to those whose spirits can bear the weight of responsibility. You must understand that the moment heaven reveals something, hell reacts. The moment God exposes a new assignment, resistance awakens, not because the assignment is weak, but because its fulfillment poses a threat to darkness. Anything truly divine disrupts the plans of the enemy. Anything sent from above shifts the atmosphere, alters trajectories, breaks patterns, and brings light into places that once lay dormant. That is why vigilance is necessary, not because the assignment is fragile, but because the opposition is real. When you carry something that was birthed from the heart of God, you do not walk casually. You stand alert. You walk with spiritual clarity. You protect what is new, because what is new is often what is most attacked. There is a reason heaven reveals things gradually. Divine timing is not just about when something arrives. It is also about when you become aware of it. Awareness is the moment of activation. And now that this assignment has been revealed to you, your responsibility has begun. Heaven does not reveal without purpose. It does not expose without intention. You were meant to see it now, because now is the moment in which you are capable of carrying it. Not earlier, not later, but now, when your spirit has been prepared, shaped, tested, and refined to recognize the weight of what has been given. Handling it with vigilance means you must guard your inner space. Not everyone around you can understand what has been revealed to you. Not everyone is meant to hear the details of your assignment. Some may discourage it. Some may misunderstand it. Some may even try to tear it down. Guarding a divine assignment often means guarding your silence, preserving the sanctity of what God has entrusted to you. Wisdom is knowing what to speak, when to speak, and to whom it should be spoken. This assignment is not a public announcement. It is a sacred responsibility. It is something to be nurtured, prayed over, developed, and strengthened before it can be revealed openly. Vigilance also means spiritual discipline. You cannot carry a divine assignment with a distracted spirit. You cannot nurture heavenly purpose with earthly negligence. The moment God places something new inside you, it requires alignment. Your thoughts, your words, your decisions, and your actions must shift in accordance with what you carry. Old habits cannot sustain new purpose. Old patterns cannot protect new revelation. To handle this assignment properly, you must rise to a new level of clarity and spiritual maturity. There will be moments when doubt attempts to creep in, whispering that the assignment is too heavy, too large, too unfamiliar. But divine assignments are never dependent on your comfort. They are dependent on your obedience. Heaven will equip you as you move. Strength will be given as you carry. Wisdom will unfold as you act, and protection will surround you as you remain vigilant. You must also recognize that vigilance involves watching not only the external, but also the internal. Many assignments are lost not because of outside attacks, but because of inner neglect. complacency, fear, hesitation, or spiritual sleep can suffocate what God has revealed. That is why you must stay spiritually awake. Pay attention to the nudges within your soul. Pay attention to the shifts in your atmosphere. Pay attention to the battles that intensify suddenly. They are clues that the assignment you carry is significant. This divine assignment is not simply a task, it is a piece of destiny, a fragment of heaven's plan woven into your life's path. It may call you higher. It may require sacrifice. It may stretch your faith. But whatever it demands, it is always worth it. For every assignment from God carries transformation, not only for you, but for others connected to your obedience. This is not just about personal growth. This is about divine impact. To handle it with vigilance is to take responsibility with reverence, to guard what has been placed in your spirit with seriousness, and to prepare yourself for the unfolding that is ahead. Vigilance keeps you aligned. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you responsive to divine guidance. And as long as you remain vigilant, nothing that rises against this assignment can prevail. A divine assignment has been revealed. Heaven entrusted it to you because you are capable, chosen, and prepared. Handle it with vigilance, for what you carry now is sacred, powerful, and destined to transform your path in ways you cannot yet imagine. What God exposed must be opened immediately, without hesitation. When something is revealed by the divine, it arrives with a sense of urgency that is not rooted in panic but in purpose. There are moments in life when heaven does not simply invite you to act, it commands you. This is one of those moments. What has been exposed to you is not something to ponder endlessly, delay out of fear, or place on the shelf of later. It is meant to be opened now, because its timing, its purpose, and its impact are all tied to this very moment. Divine revelation always comes in perfect alignment, and hesitation can cause what was meant to flourish to falter. The instruction is clear. Open it immediately. Opening a divine revelation is not about tearing into something recklessly. It is about embracing what has been placed before you with faith, readiness, and obedience. When God exposes something, it is because the time has come for you to see, understand, and engage with what was previously hidden from your sight. Delay can distort destiny. The longer you wait, the more room doubt has to whisper. The more time you give to hesitation, the more the enemy will attempt to interfere, distract, or complicate what God meant to be straightforward. There is power in immediate obedience. There is breakthrough in timely action. There is protection in swift alignment. This exposure is a gift, but it is also an assignment. It has been revealed because something in your life, your spirit, or your path is ready for activation. Opening it immediately does not mean you have all the answers. It means you trust the one who revealed it. When God shows you something, it comes with all the grace you need to receive it. It comes with the strength to handle it. It comes with the wisdom that will unfold as you walk with it. But none of that can be accessed if you stand frozen at the threshold of revelation. You must step forward, you must engage, you must act. Immediate action does not mean reckless action, it means obedient action. It means not allowing fear to overthink what faith is ready to receive. It means not letting past disappointments overshadow present instructions. It means not letting uncertainty disguise itself as waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. If the revelation came now, the activation is now. God does not expose prematurely. There is no such thing as a divine accident. There is no mistake in the timing of heaven. So when something is unveiled before you, it is because the season for it to manifest has arrived. Opening it immediately also means opening your heart, your mind, and your spirit to what comes next. Sometimes revelation requires action, and sometimes it requires acceptance. Sometimes it calls for movement, and sometimes it calls for surrender. Regardless of the form it takes, it calls for response. Delay is the enemy of revelation. Hesitation can cause opportunities to slip through your fingers, not because God takes them away, but because your own reluctance allows them to stagnate. Divine timing is not only about God's readiness, it is about your willingness. There is also a spiritual dimension to this urgency. When something is exposed by God, the spiritual atmosphere shifts. Light breaks into places where darkness once hid. Clarity shines where confusion once lingered. Opportunities open where barriers once stood. But these shifts are moment-sensitive. They are designed for a window of time in which everything aligns. Your readiness, the revelation, the purpose, and the power behind it. To wait too long is to risk stepping outside the window God opened specifically for you. That is why the instruction is immediate. The timing is divine, and you are meant to move within that divine rhythm. Opening what God exposed is also an act of trust. It shows that you believe God does not reveal without reason. It shows you believe the assignment placed before you is not too big, too demanding, or too complicated for you to handle. It shows that you trust the guidance that will follow. For when God reveals something, He never leaves you to navigate it alone. Revelation is always accompanied by direction, sometimes step by step, sometimes moment by moment, but always enough to move forward. Delay makes room for confusion. Obedience makes room for clarity. You may not feel prepared. Few people ever feel ready when something divine is entrusted to them. But readiness is rarely a feeling, it is a decision. It is the willingness to step into something bigger than yourself because you trust the one who is leading you. Opening it immediately means you are willing to move forward, even if you do not yet see the full picture. It means you understand that clarity often comes after obedience, not before it. You do not need all the details to take the first step. You only need faith. This revelation is not random. It is tied to your next level, your next chapter, your next transformation. To delay is to delay your own progress. To hesitate is to slow your own breakthrough. What has been exposed is part of your elevation, your calling, and your destiny. It comes with blessings, growth, and spiritual alignment, waiting on the other side of your obedience. But none of this can unfold until you open it. You must also understand that divine exposure often arrives wrapped in unfamiliarity. What is new can appear intimidating. What is sacred can feel heavy, but hesitation based on unfamiliarity is still hesitation. The unknown is not your enemy. The unknown is simply a space where faith must operate. And faith is never more powerful than when it responds without delay. Opening it immediately means you embrace what God has revealed, even if it stretches you. It means you trust that you will be equipped as you walk. It means you understand that divine timing demands divine courage. There is also an element of stewardship. What God exposes, He expects you to handle. What He reveals, He expects you to value. Waiting too long can cause you to lose the sensitivity you had when the revelation first came. It can cause the flame of understanding to dim. It can cause the spiritual urgency to fade. That is why immediate action matters. It keeps you aligned with the intensity of the moment. It keeps your spirit sharp. It keeps your focus pure. It keeps the assignment alive. So open it. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for all the answers. Do not wait for complete certainty. The moment is now. The instruction is now. The activation is now. What God exposed is ready to unfold, ready to release, ready to manifest. If you open it without hesitation, the divine has spoken. The path has been revealed. Your role is simply to respond. When something new is born in the Spirit, it emerges with a radiance that naturally attracts attention, both heavenly and hostile. Every divine gift carries within it the potential to transform, uplift, and realign the path of the person who receives it. But with that potential comes vulnerability, not because the gift is weak, but because it is still unfolding. Anything that carries spiritual significance is noticed by forces that oppose divine purpose. This is why protection becomes essential. The moment a gift is placed into your hands, the need to guard it becomes just as important as the call to embrace it. You are not protecting it because you doubt its strength. You protect it because you understand its value. Opposing forces do not attack what is empty. They attack what is meaningful. They target what carries destiny. They move against whatever threatens the territory they once claimed. This gift you've received is disruptive to the plans of darkness. It shifts the atmosphere. It changes the trajectory of your life. It realigns what was once misaligned. So naturally, spiritual resistance awakens, not because you are weak, but because what you now carry is powerful. The greater the gift, the more attention it attracts. The brighter the light, the more shadows gather around it. Protection is not a suggestion. It is a necessity woven into the very nature of spiritual responsibility. To protect this gift, you must first recognize its sacredness. Treat it with the reverence it deserves. Do not trivialize it. Do not expose it to voices that cannot understand it. Do not let negativity or doubt contaminate what God has entrusted to you. A divine gift in its early stages is like a seed. It requires the right environment to flourish. It needs faith, not fear, vision, not confusion, encouragement, not skepticism. What you surround your gift with determines how it grows. Carelessness can suffocate it. Distraction can starve it. Discouragement can weaken it. But intentional protection can fortify it until it becomes unshakable. Opposing forces often appear subtle. They don't always come as dramatic battles. Sometimes they come as fatigue, doubt, unexpected conflict, disappointment, discouraging words, or even internal questioning. These forces are strategic. They aim to weaken your grip on the gift before it becomes too strong to challenge. They try to plant seeds of uncertainty, hoping you will abandon what you've been entrusted with. They try to exhaust you, hoping you will set the gift aside. They try to distort your clarity, hoping you will misinterpret the purpose of the gift. This is why spiritual awareness becomes crucial. You must recognize the difference between ordinary challenges and targeted resistance. Not every struggle is random. Some battles only appear after something divine has been placed into your life. Protecting the gift also means protecting your focus. What has been entrusted to you requires concentration, emotional clarity, and spiritual attentiveness. If your mind becomes scattered, your spirit becomes weakened. If your attention is divided, your gift becomes neglected. Opposing forces thrive in distraction. They try to pull you in multiple directions so you lose sight of what you were meant to nurture. This is why you must stay centered, intentional, and spiritually alert. Focus is a shield. Clarity is armor. Discernment is strategy. Another key aspect of protection is guarding your environment. Not everyone around you is meant to witness what you carry. Some people cannot understand the depth of your calling. Some may unknowingly speak doubt into your assignment. Others may intentionally attempt to undermine what you are building. People with small vision cannot nurture big gifts. People with wounded spirits may project their fears onto your promise. People who are spiritually blind cannot guide you through spiritual revelation. This is not about judging others. It is about safeguarding what God has entrusted to you. Just as a newborn is not handed to strangers, your divine gift should not be placed in the hands or conversations of those who are not meant to steward its development. Silence can be a form of protection. Discernment is your shield. Protection also comes through spiritual alignment, prayer, reflection, and connection with the divine source from which the gift came. A gift without spiritual covering becomes more vulnerable to outside influence. But a gift surrounded by prayer becomes fortified. It becomes anchored. It becomes untouchable by the schemes designed to weaken it. Prayer does not merely defend, it empowers. It sharpens your awareness, strengthens your resolve, and reveals the strategies of opposing forces before they can manifest. When you stay aligned with the divine, you stay ahead of the enemy. When you stay connected, you stay protected. Part of protection is also endurance. Opposing forces often rely on persistence. They hope that if they push long enough you will eventually let go. They rely on your fatigue. They rely on delay. They rely on emotional pressure. But endurance disrupts their strategy. Every moment you continue to guard your gift is a moment the enemy's efforts lose power. Every day you remain committed, the gift grows stronger and harder to challenge. Endurance transforms vulnerability into maturity. What begins as something that needs protection becomes something that stands on its own, fortified by your obedience and your perseverance. You must also protect the way you speak about your gift. Words shape atmosphere. What you confess strengthens or weakens what you carry. Speak life over your assignment, not doubt. Speak purpose, not fear. Speak confidence, not confusion. Your words create spiritual shelter. They either reinforce the gift or expose it to harm. Negative speech opens doors for opposing forces to gain ground. Positive, faith-rooted speech creates a shield they cannot penetrate. Opposing forces may also attempt to make you question whether the gift is truly from God. They may whisper, "Are you sure this is for you? Or maybe this was just your imagination." But confusion is not from heaven. Doubt is not divine. Revelation is clear, even when the path is not. This is why you must hold on to what you know God revealed. Uncertainty may attempt to creep in, but truth remains truth. No matter how loud the noise becomes, the power of your gift is not just in what it is, but in what it will become. What you carry now is only the beginning. It contains layers of potential that will unfold over time. This is why protecting it is so important. The enemy sees the future impact of things long before you do. What appears small now may one day break chains, shift paths, or birth transformation. The opposition is not fighting the present, it is fighting the future. This is why you must stand firm. Protect what you carry now so it can mature into what it is destined to be. Your gift is powerful, it is divine, it is purposeful, and because of that it must be protected, not out of fear but out of recognition. Not out of weakness but out of wisdom. You protect it because you understand its value. You guard it because you know it carries destiny. And as you shield it, nurture it, and uphold it, it will grow beyond the reach of opposing forces and fulfill the purpose for which it was given. Protect it well, for what you carry is greater than you yet realize. There are moments in life that feel ordinary at first glance. Moments that appear subtle, quiet, or unassuming. And yet, within them, something shifts, something deep, unseen, and powerful. This revelation, the one that has come to you in this season, is not just information. It is not simply insight. It is a signal, a spiritual announcement, a divine indicator that the landscape of your life has begun to change. When heaven reveals something, it is rarely just for awareness, it is for transition. This is the beginning of breakthrough, and the revelation you received is the doorway into it. Breakthrough does not begin when the change becomes visible. It does not begin when everything finally falls into place. It does not begin when circumstances catch up. Breakthrough begins when revelation arrives. It begins when God opens your eyes to something that was previously hidden. The moment understanding enters your spirit, the atmosphere around you shifts, even if nothing externally seems different yet. Revelation is the spark that ignites movement in the unseen realm. It is the sign that the hold of the old season has weakened, and the authority of the new season has begun to rise. You are standing not at the end of the process, but at the beginning of transformation. This revelation is not accidental. It is not random. It is not just a thought or impression. It is a divine confirmation that what held you back is losing its grip. What confused you is dissolving. What delayed you is being removed. What intimidated you is losing power. A breakthrough always begins with clarity, because clarity destroys confusion, and confusion is one of the strongest tools used to keep people stuck. When God brings revelation, He shatters the fog, He breaks the stagnation, He removes the blindfold. You can't step into what you cannot see, so God reveals what you need to step toward. That moment of revelation is the first crack in the wall that once stood in your way. This is why revelation feels different. It feels heavier, sharper, or more urgent than anything else. It pulls your attention inward. It stirs something inside you that you cannot ignore. It awakens your awareness in a way that ordinary thoughts do not. That is because revelation is not coming from your mind, it is coming from above. It is not something you figured out, it is something you were shown. And whatever God reveals is always tied to movement, purpose, and change. This revelation is not meant to sit, it is meant to activate. It is a declaration from heaven that the next chapter has begun. You may not see the fullness of breakthrough yet, but the beginning is already underway. Breakthrough often starts quietly. It begins beneath the surface long before it manifests outwardly. Seeds sprout underground before they break through the soil. Foundations shift before a structure rises. Your spirit senses the change long before your environment reflects it. This revelation is that spiritual shift. It is the moment when your inner world adjusts to the spiritual reality God is calling you into. When revelation comes, what once felt impossible suddenly feels accessible. What once felt confusing becomes understandable. What once felt distant becomes near. That internal transition is the true beginning of breakthrough. Many people misunderstand breakthrough. They think it is the moment everything becomes easy. But breakthrough is the moment resistance loses its strength. It is the moment the barrier begins to crack. It is the moment the divine path realigns beneath your feet. It is the moment your spirit awakens to something that previously felt unreachable. That awakening is what you have received. It is the sign of progress even before progress becomes visible. It is the sign that heaven has already moved on your behalf, and once heaven moves, nothing on earth can restrain what is coming. This revelation is also the beginning of breakthrough because it repositions your mindset. Breakthrough is not just circumstantial, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. How you think shapes your direction. How you perceive shapes your decisions. When God brings a revelation, He shifts your mindset into alignment with what He is about to do. This prevents you from missing what is coming, and it prepares you to walk into it with confidence rather than fear. Revelation reprograms your expectation, and expectation is the soil in which breakthrough grows. When you expect nothing, nothing changes. When revelation awakens expectation, your spirit becomes fertile ground for transformation. Another reason this marks the beginning of breakthrough is that revelation carries authority. It is not merely information, it is a divine decree. When God reveals something, He is also authorizing it. He is declaring that the time has come for movement. Revelation breaks cycles. It dismantles patterns. It interrupts stagnation. It exposes lies. It overturns fears. It brings truth, and truth is the weapon that breaks chains. This revelation you've received is armed with spiritual power. It carries the authority of heaven. And wherever divine authority enters, breakthrough follows. This moment is also significant because revelation forces you to make a decision. Will you step forward, or will you stay where you were? Will you embrace what has been shown, or will you retreat into what is familiar? Breakthrough requires response. God opens the door, but you must walk through it. The revelation is your invitation. It is the sign that the door is already open. The choice you make now determines how quickly the breakthrough manifests. If you respond with faith, movement begins immediately. If you respond with hesitation, the process slows, but the revelation still stands. However, heaven always rewards movement. Revelation followed by obedience accelerates breakthrough. You may feel the tension between the old and the new. You may sense that your spirit is ready while your environment is still catching up. That is normal. Breakthrough often creates a stretching season in which the internal reality shifts before the external does. Don't misinterpret the stretch as delay. The stretch is proof that the breakthrough has begun. Your spirit is aligning with your future, and your circumstances are in the process of adjusting. This is how divine transitions unfold. This revelation is not just for encouragement, it is a sign of timing. It means that things that were locked are unlocking. It means that opportunities that once seemed closed are coming into alignment. It means that prayers you thought were forgotten have been answered in a higher way. It means that your faithfulness, your endurance, and your persistence have reached a divine threshold. Breakthrough always comes after pressure. And revelation is the announcement that the pressure has done its work. Everything that once felt stuck is beginning to shift. Everything that once felt resistant is beginning to weaken. Everything that once felt dark is being illuminated. You may not see the full picture yet, but the beginning is unmistakable. This revelation is the sound of chains cracking. It is the first light before sunrise. It is the moment before the door swings open. Your breakthrough has begun, not because everything has changed yet, but because something inside you has awakened. And once the awakening happens, nothing can stop what is coming next.